Welcome everybody to this episode of uh, Tech Talks at Unconventional Solutions. We're going to be talking about how to fix an active leak in 30 minutes or less. And if you want a white paper on this, feel free to log on to our website. And we have like a 17, 18 page web document. And today's goals will be to show and talk about the advantage of composite pipe wrap systems. Why does it matter? John Martin and I were at a big wastewater or water treatment plant yesterday, and they said a quarter-inch leak on a 60 psi water line could cost $4,000 if there's not a lot of chemicals, and closer to $8,000 a month if there's chemicals in it, because those chemicals aren't cheap, and you're essentially flushing them down the drain, and that's roughly 48,000 a year. So imagine if you have 10 of those leaks, that's close to $500,000 that you're spending on water that's just going down the drain and not being utilized. So why are we talking about composite pipe wrap systems? Usually it's a material of urethanes, polyurethanes, or sometimes epoxies mixed with a non-metallic fiber such as fiberglass. Some people like carbon fiber, but really, unless you're talking pressures of over 1,000 psi, you don't really need carbon fiber or Kevlar. Saturated with an adhesive mixture. Today, we're going to be talking about a water-activated polyurethane, but down the road, we also have epoxy formulations as well. How can composite pipe wrap systems be used? They're designed to repair corroded and mechanically damaged pipes, vessels, tanks, columns, beams, ships by externally wrapping or patching the area. You can see here, they can work well on elbows. They can work underwater. Not that I want to be wrapping underwater, but you could. Bigger pipes, smaller pipes. And what they're doing is helping you to minimize downtime or lost production. If you're in the power industry, time off the grid. If you're in the refining industry, unscheduled turnarounds or loss of treated waters. You don't have to bring a contractor in every time you have a leak. You can show your own employees how to use it to reduce overtime. In some cases, you might have chemicals or oil that are leaking out, in which case that could create an EPA or fine. And the biggest reason is these composite wrap systems weigh a lot less than mechanical clamps or welded sleeves that can add stress to the weight of your piping system, especially if your pipe's elevated and on pipe supports. But even if your pipe's going to be buried, sometimes you don't want the added weight of a welded sleeve or a pipe clamp on your pipe. Of course, this never happens. This is actually a live picture. I probably took this picture about 15 years ago in River Rouge, where you can see they were trying to use duct tape to stop a leak on coal piping. And John Grabowski deals with a power plant, and they were using duct tape as well. But on the right-hand side is a picture of them using our composite wrap system that's water activated. You can see how much stronger that is and how durable and tough that is. So these composites also have some abrasion resistance and erosion resistance. This was a leaking water pipe on New Year's Day at a drain commission. They had a 3-inch leaded T, and of course, none of the hardware stores were open. Fortunately for them, they had a couple of our ultimate pipe repair kits and emergency pipe repair kits in stock that they purchased back in September, and they were able to fix this leak in just 30 minutes. And it was an 80 psi leak where they used our aqua stick along with our Resi Metal 108 pipe wrap. And they got a nice short-term fix of 12 to 18 months. And again, that's a nice way to keep your plant running without losing all that water that costs you money. This is a steel mill leak where they're losing about 50 to 70 gallons a minute. This was back in 2005, 2006. So they said they were losing almost 4,000 a day in chemical treatment costs. Today, those numbers are probably close to $8,000 or $10,000. They tried a mechanical clamp. In fact, if you look At the very right-hand side, you'll see a shiny stainless steel clamp. What you can't see is there's a 3-foot wall next to it, but that leak repair just wasn't working well. And here's the clamp that didn't really work, and you can see the wall. So they shut the pipe down. This is a continuous caster for an hour. They took our 103 stick epoxy, and you see these holes on the left-hand side of your screen. They kneaded that together until it's one uniform color. And you can see they patched in those holes. And then they came back in with 12 of our extra large pipe wraps to wrap over this pipe to make a composite cast. And this was done in 2006, right before 4th of July. And as of 2018, which would have been, 10, 12, 15 years later, it was still in service. And it might still be in service as of 2025, which means they're going on their second decade of service. So when done properly, these can make long-term repairs. In fact, I got a call yesterday from a person up in Traverse City, and one of his managers, Art, had us do a composite pipe repair about 4 years ago in December of 2020. And they just needed a year and a half because replacing the pipe was going to be roughly $1.2 million, and they were able to composite wrap it for a little under $200,000, and they got 3 or 4 more years out of it. They're now rebuilding that plant at a cost of $4 million, so they'll be replacing that pipe. But again, this can help you with budgetary issues. When you don't have the funds to replace the pipe right away, this can buy you 6 months, a year, 5 years, even 10 years, depending on what you want us to do and how long you want it to last. We can also run calculations for you to give you some idea of engineering expected life. So I guess with that, we'll keep this one relatively short. You might have questions and ask yourself, what problems have you had with pipes that leak in the past? How long did it take you to fix that pipe in the traditional way? What was the implications of fixing that way? Was there any lost downtime? And what would be the need payoff of having a faster, more erosion and corrosion solution to your issues? So with that, I'll stop sharing and again, open it up to questions.
And mics are now open, so everyone can unmute themselves if they have questions.
Ray Binghams, thanks for joining. Good to see you.
Thank you. Sorry, got on late.
That's okay. Feel free to ask questions and jot down questions, or you can actually text them in the chat box if you prefer texting the questions, and Chris can read off the questions to me.
I did not catch the first of your presentation. So is this repair wrap rated for what type of pressure?
Okay, great question, Ray. So depending on the ratings, the water activated pipe bandages, if we put 12 plies around the pipe, are rated to 5 bars of pressure, which is 72.5 psi. If you put 3 extra plies or 15 plies on, you double your rating to 10 bars or 145 psi. And then if you put 5 more plies on to 20 plies, your rating goes up to 218 psi. And if you do 25 plies, the rating is good up to 400 plus psi. And if you use the stick epoxy 103 stick plug, we've actually burst tested that stick epoxy when we put it on a pipe and let it cure for 16 hours. And the pipe actually burst at 725 psi. And there are systems, Ray, that can go higher than that, but for water pipe and most chemical lines, that tends to be fairly high. We do have some non-water activated pipe systems that are DOT rated up to 2025 PSI, which means it has a safety factor of 4 and could be pressure rated up to 8,000 if you're non-DOT regulated pipe.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. Glad you could join us. Well,
All right,
thanks
I
for,
I do see some questions coming into the Q&A.
okay,
First one
great.
is, do you offer on-site or virtual application support for first-time users?
Oh, absolutely. I typically encourage people not to open up their order when it comes in and to call me to schedule a 20-minute or hour training session for their team that's going to be using it. It's not complicated. I always tell people you're a rookie on the first repair and you're a pro on the second repair. But we like to avoid rookie mistakes by providing training and technical support with each order.
And the other question we got was, how much time is typically required from prep to cure?
Okay. Preparation's minimal. Wire brush or power tool clean. If you have a solvent and you want to use it, that's great. So that maybe takes 10 to 15 minutes. The stick epoxy sets up really fast along with the water activated. In fact, if you take too long, it actually won't work because it will cure inside of your hand. So you want to be diligent and fast. And I usually like to stick the stick epoxy into the water weighted pipe bandage, dip that in water 3 times, squeeze it, and then I'll use the pipe repair bandage as a third hand and push that up into the hole and wrap and wrap and wrap to get my 12, 15, or 20 plies. And then I'll take my gloved hand and work the carbon dioxide gas bubbles back into the resin. So you get that nice, smooth, polished cast. In fact, John, do you have a sample with you? John's across the way from me. We'll see if he has a sample. Okay, so, but it's pretty easy to work with. And we also even have some repair tourniquets that you can use to hold the stick epoxy in. Let's see if I have one of those. Yeah, I do. Where this is just a thick rubber tourniquet that you can use to push the stick epoxy in, tie this off and hold it, and then remove this. But typically you're done in like 20 to 30 minutes and you can walk away. And the product can fix live leaks up to about 20, 30, 40 PSI. I have some guys that are pretty big and strong. They say they fixed some 80 and 90 PSI leaks, but I usually recommend you open up some taps and take off pressure. So we say typically 30 minutes or less while cutting out and draining a pipe and welding in new pipe. Often I'm told takes several hours to several days, depending on the diameter of the pipe.
Thank you, Doug. We do have one more, which is,
I hope that helps out.
What is the max diameter of pipe that can be repaired?
Okay, great. Chris, did you say there was one more question, or does that cover us?
Yep. One more question. The question was, what is the max diameter of pipe that can be repaired?
There's not technically a max. In fact, I was talking to somebody at a big water authority here in the Great Lakes region. They have a 72-inch steel pipe, and we have ways to fixing that, but we wouldn't use a water activated urethane in that case because it would set up too fast. So I would say on the water activated urethanes, 24 inch is definitely doable. 30 inch is doable. 36 inch, I've had a couple guys do that down in Indiana, but I probably wouldn't go much bigger than that. I'd probably switch over to a slower curing epoxy system if you're going to take on a 42-inch pipe. We did a 42-inch pipe actually up in Port Huron 2 years ago with our epoxy system, and that's been holding up real well for them. That was in a basement area where it'd be just about impossible to replace it. Well, hey, I'm glad so many people could join us. This is excellent. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday. And don't forget our next Tech Talk, Chris, will be when?
Our next Tech Talk is next month. 1 second, I'll pull the exact date. It is on high temperature coatings, and it's on August 20th, also at 11:45 a.m.
And that's also Wednesday. Am I correct in saying that, Chris?
Yep.
Okay, so just think of this as a great way of getting some monthly training for 15 minutes and staying up to date with technology that's ever changing. Hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.